And then Ms. Archuleta and Ms. Farley, why don't you both unmute and start your cameras?
This is Alyssa's fault.
And
you know it's going to be awful.
All right. And Ms. Archuleta, how am I doing with that pronunciation?
It's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Farley. Let's see.
Judge, you can just call her neck tat. It's fine.
All right. So I had a feeling, Ms. Farley, that you knew about this hearing because I think I got some information. I did review that information. So let me put you both under oath and then we can get started. So Ms. Archuleta, raise your right hand with me. Ms. Archuleta, do you swear or affirm the information you'll give the court all morning is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Farley, want to raise your right hand with me? Ms. Farley, do you swear or affirm that the information you'll give all morning to the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, and you'll notice I'm looking down and back and forth. I've got two screens here, and my files are electronic, and so I am listening, but I'm also looking at what you're talking about. So let me get those things open so I have them in front of me here quickly.
I'm told I've had these knuckleheads on before, but I don't recall it yet. If anybody knows the thing, let me know. Give me a link.
And then I will be turning first. Well, let me just kind of get things set up here, and then I'll be ready to talk. Yep. Tree reviewing what All right. So first things first, Ms. Archuleta, are you asking, continuing to ask for this order to issue against Ms. Farley?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it is, you're still asking, you got the 3 kids under 7, 6, and 3 that you've included here as well.
Yes.
All right. And then jumping to Ms. Farley, you're objecting or not to the court issuing this order?
I'm objecting, Your Honor.
Okay, so at least I know where we're headed. I've had a chance to review Ms. Farley's declaration and the declaration of Christopher Farley that was filed on the 5th last Monday. Ms. Archuleta, have you reviewed the information in the court file or not?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right. So, and there wasn't anything else filed after you filed your petition, Ms. Archuleta. So, Ms. Farley, you've reviewed the information, ready to go to trial today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Archuleta, you're ready to go forward today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with Ms. Archuleta. I'll hear I'll ask questions a lot, likely. And Ms. Farley, I'll turn to you after I hear from her and do the same, and then I'll make the decision based on the law. So first off, Ms. Archuleta, so obviously you tell me. Is there something new, something different, something more, or anything you want to say about whether the court should issue an order against Ms. Farley?
I have a statement. Can I read it?
Yes.
Okay. I submit this statement to explain the impact that ongoing harassment and stalking by Anna Farley has had on my life and the lives of my children. Ms. Farley's actions have caused significant reputational harm, emotional distress, and instability. Statements she has made about me contain unclear or misleading assertions, including inappropriate references to becoming involved in my children's care. Any suggestion that she would act as a caregiver or babysitter to my children is deeply concerning and has caused me fear for their safety. At the onset of these events, I denied the extramarital encounter. I did so out of fear. I was afraid that admitting the truth at that moment would escalate the situation and place me or my children in danger.
Ma'am, are you a whore?
Although I do not often use the term domestic violence, given mine and my husband's 12-year marriage, that fear was real and immediate. I have since been fully truthful and have taken responsibility for my actions. I have stepped outside my marriage, and once the truth came out, I acknowledged it completely. I understand that my actions carried consequences, and I accept responsibility for my choices. However,
Once the truth came out. That is to say, after I was completely busted, I admitted what I could no longer deny. Oh, congratulations. What a hero.
the response from Ms. Farley has gone far beyond what is reasonable or lawful. Her continued harassment, monitoring, and involvement of my children has caused profound harm. As a result of this situation, I have lost my employment, my home, my professional reputation, and the stable foundation my children depended on. I was forced to leave the state to protect them. I have separated from my husband and have been transparent with his command team regarding his mental, emotional, and physical strain the situation has placed on me. I am unable to speak on his behalf or attest to his conduct, as he has long-standing issues with anger and emotional instability that I experienced throughout our 12-year marriage. Your Honor, my primary concern is the safety and well-being of my children. They were brought into a conflict that had no part in it and should have never been referenced, contacted, or used in any way. They were vulnerable, innocent, and deserving of protection. This protection order would allow me to return to Washington with the assurance that there will be no further contact from Anna Farley or her husband. I'm not seeking retaliation. I am seeking safety, boundaries, and peace. I have taken accountability for my mistake, but I cannot extend forgiveness to the conduct that involved my children and place them at risk. I respectfully ask the court to grant this protection order so that my children and I can move forward without fear of further harassment or intrusion. Thank you, Your Honor.
See, I'm going to use Ms. Fowler's word. She now is in a throuple. And not only does she choose to be in a throuple, and she's shacked up in the bed with the throuple. Now, if anybody thinks this is okay, I am in the wrong world.
So you say that you lost your job. Why did you lose your job?
Ms. Farley reached out to my employer, and she said she made a false accusation that her husband and I had sexual relations on school grounds. She sent it to the principal, my contracting agency, all the head nurses, and basically they called me into the office, and I was just I was ashamed to return back to work. I couldn't.
Well, here's the thing. I do have a question for you.
Ma'am, are you a whore?
They said they didn't have any proof of me leaving the school or have any proof of because they have video recordings on the outside. There was no disturbances on the camera that it showed individuals in the parking lot at that time. So, yeah.
So did they do an investigation, or did you decide you were too embarrassed by it all? You just decided to leave the job?
No, they did an investigation, and then I left willingly.
Okay. So was there a discussion with you that you resign, or something else happened that they fire you, or?
No, I just resigned.
Okay. All right. And then, and your job was what?
I was a nurse at a middle school.
Okay, so there's a contracting agency that you were hired through. You're not part of the school district?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And so that, all right. And then, and that happened around when? When did you
She conveniently left out the naughty nurse on OnlyFans, but you know, whatever.
lose your job?
January 2nd.
Okay, so just 10 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then, and you say that there's, I just need you to kind of flesh out some of the things you're saying here. You said that Ms. Farley's repeatedly threatened you, including stating, ruin my life and become my children's mother. So how did you receive those, what you call threats?
I mean, as for ruining my life, I didn't take that into, she was angry. She had every right to be angry. That did not bother me. But for us becoming my children's mother, why did she have to bring my children into it? Why is she, she's reaching out to my spouse still, offering childcare for them when they come back to Washington, because I do have to return back to Washington and go through divorce court and family court when my husband and I go through our divorce. But I just think she's taking it way beyond that needs to be. Why is she involving my children? Why is she asking them or asking my spouse to be part of their care and wanting to be involved with them? To me, it's not okay. Those are my children. Those are my babies.
Okay. All right. And so you've left the state now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I mean, you're not residing in Washington anymore, or is there an intention to come on back?
Yeah. So if I'm able to get the 1-year protection order, I have to go back and do, either way, I have to go back. I still have to go through court with my husband.
Solution.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. But otherwise, you're establishing yourself elsewhere.
Yes. Until I have to go back in March, and I have to stay March, April, May, and then I'll be returning back here in June.
Okay. All right. And the kids are going back and forth or with you, or?
Right now they're with me. His command team thinks it's in their best interest to remain with me.
Okay. And so Mr. All right. So they're with you. Got it. All right. I got a little confused there for a moment. And then, and so then you talked about December 12th that as far
They seem vaguely familiar. I think I did a prior hearing on it. I can't find it. If anyone finds it, let me know.
Charlie drove by your residence. How did you know that happened?
So I was outside letting the dogs out, and I remember
Finally, we find out who let the dogs out.
I was letting the dogs out. Sorry, it was just a bad night for me overall. I was letting the dogs out. I had heard one of the dogs barking at the back gate. And so as I went out, there was a car that drove by that wasn't part of our neighborhood because it loops around. And then I was like, okay, well, that's a little weird. And then I went back up to the front just to see if I could get a better look. And then it drove around again. But unfortunately, the person who only has access to that is my spouse. And he said he refused to give me the video footage. So
video, what access to what video? What do you?
The access to the video of her driving around my residence.
So did you take a video on?
Oh, he's still banging her. Yeah, I love it. He's still banging her. I have zero doubts.
Yeah, we have cameras on the outside of the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
But you were outside and you saw a car.
Mhm.
Why did you decide? Why did you determine it was Ms. Farley driving around?
It was the same description of her vehicle, the red. I I believe,
No, I'm not going to provide you surveillance video of my side piece driving through the neighborhood. Sorry, honey.
Hyundai or Volkswagen. It was dark, but it was
Had
just
you-
strange.
Had you see her in that car before or somehow associated her with, how'd you associate her with that car?
Yeah, her and her husband and I worked at the same jail, and I would see her drive it.
You worked out at the same, what, gym, did you say?
Jail. Her husband and I were,
worked.
yeah,
Okay, okay. Which jail?
Nisqually.
Okay. All right, so, and that was on December 12th.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was just past midnight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you talked about posting of the images of your children, the 7, 6, and 3-year-old, all three of them?
And my nephew, yes.
Okay, that's right, the nephew. So, and that was, how did you come to know that?
My cousin, two of my cousins, one who is in Washington that lives there, and then two of them that are from Nevada, they called me and they said, this woman is reaching out to us. She has posted your children on her Facebook. They said at that time I got rid of my Instagram and my Facebook account, so I didn't have any knowledge of it until they reached out to me. I had blocked Miss Farley and her husband as well, so I was not going to reach out to them and ask them to take it down. But my little sister had reached out to her and said, that fourth child is not my sister's. Please remove it. Miss Farley stated that she was a police officer and she knew the law and that she did not have to take it down. And then my sister said, my nephews and nieces do not need to be involved in this. Miss Farley responded that they shouldn't be posted on Facebook and that basically I'll learn a lesson by her posting my children on her Facebook or her mimic Facebook, whatever they call that.
Okay, trying to see, did you include that information, screenshots?
Yes,
in your
ma'am.
exhibits? Where, I know we don't really have page numbers, but I'm trying to find it. Okay. So I see something, Anna Scorn from, I don't know what date it was. It's the woman who's been sleeping with my husband, Savannah Singleton, Savannah Archuleta. I don't see any kids' pictures. Is there somewhere?
Yes, everything should be in there.
There it is. Okay, so then I see, well, it's got up 12/13/25 at 12:57 p.m. Says pictures of my children and nephew.
Mhm.
And so this is a screenshot of Facebook, of your somebody's Facebook?
Of Miss Farley's Facebook. She had created a second Facebook where she planned on, I don't know what her plan was this. It was kind of like a burn Facebook, I don't know what her intention was with the Facebook, but she was adding all my,
So how did so other people told you about this and then
Yes.
you went to look?
Mhm.
And those are your kids and a nephew?
Yes.
Okay. And does it make any sense to you, the context where this was taken or when?
But when the picture was taken?
Right. Can you interpret that at all?
Yeah.
When it was
So-
taken, where?
We were at the haunted October Fest thing that they do in Tacoma, I believe. They were against the brick wall. My daughter has her little cat costume on. My oldest baby doesn't dress up because he's on the spectrum. But my nephew is Puss in Boots and my son is a pirate.
Okay. So this is so sometime October 31st, somewhere around then.
Yes.
All right. Up in Tacoma was, all right. And so was that something you took them to or your
Yes, I
husband
took. No, that was,
Okay.
yeah, me.
You took them to this and then do you know who took the picture?
Me.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how is it, can you help me understand then how that picture ended up available to Ms. Farley to put on her Facebook?
So I'm assuming before I deactivated my Facebook account. She was taking my pictures off of my Facebook because it was my profile picture of my babies.
Okay. Okay. So you put them on your Facebook. That makes
Yeah.
sense. And then that's available. And this was before you became aware, well, because you're admitting to having had an affair with Ms. Farley's husband, but then there seems to be something about Mr. Farley or Mr. Ashaleta. I don't know if that's his last name, but how does he play into I'm a little puzzled. He's starting to come up.
So I don't know how she got.
Who's effing who? That's what she wants to know. But that's what she's asking. That's what she's asking. I think the only reasonable assumption here is everyone's effing everybody.
My husband's phone number, but basically she was trying to reach out to everybody and get information on me. And then she reached out to him and has continued communication with him. Basically has been just asking a lot of personal questions about me.
Oh, they're banging. They're banging for sure.
And take for granted, my husband and I have been married for 12 years, but he willingly has been giving her this
This is the quality law analysis you come to Law Talk with Mike for.
information.
I'll tell
I don't
you.
know why she wants to stay in contact with him. That's not my business. But as far as my children go, she asking to babysit them and be their caregiver when they're supposed to be seeing their father in Washington is strange to me.
Okay. And how did you discover that your now husband was giving Ms. Farley information about you?
She wrote it in her
Oh, he was giving her more than that.
in her testimony or
Oh, in the
statement.
declaration that you filed.
Yeah.
Giving her some
Okay,
of
so
this.
you discovered that now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then have you had discussions with your husband about any of this before you discovered that?
No.
Really? No. Okay.
No, we stayed separated. So unfortunately, it did lead to a domestic violence situation on my end. He was not, obviously, nobody was very happy about the scenario that happened. And so I decided because he was giving, but it was also the safety of me and my children and still communicating with her. I ended up leaving the state.
All right. And so about what time did you leave?
I left the 30th of December.
Okay. So just recently, just within the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Things here. Okay, see if I have any other questions. 1 second.
She just needs an Italian sausage and a corn dog, and that would fix her right up.
All right. So anything, Ms. Archuleta, anything more before I hear from Ms. Farley?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Farley, let me turn to you and your response to this request for an order protection.
Yes, Your Honor. I won't take up too much of the court's time. You've reviewed my declaration. Yes, I posted a picture of her children on Facebook. It was in poor taste. I removed it within a couple of hours. I was obviously very upset the day I found out that she was having an affair with my husband. All of that happened within a 3-day period on the 9th, December 9th through December 12th. I found this out. I did contact her. We had messages back and forth where she was lying to me, and then she eventually came clean about part of it, but still have lies. Regardless, yes, I did email her principal. That is the only person, the principal and the nurse is the only person. I attached that email of what I said because that is the information I had at the time. I didn't reach out to her contracted people, other people like that. You know, for me, it was a big red flag that you're having a sexual affair on school grounds. I could have not done that. Yes, it was, you know, looking back now, it was very petty of me. Can't go back and change. I didn't threaten her. I have no intention of threatening her or harming her. I did say I was going to be her children's new stepmother. That was just me being upset and lashing out. I have no
Coochie. Gotcha.
intention on doing that. I have had communication with her husband, Anthony. We, you know, upon discovering this affair, we were both talking about separating and leaving our spouses. And that's how the whole child care came up. I said, you know, I'm going to be moving, looking for an apartment. He said he couldn't afford an apartment. I said, you know, we're like, we can be roommates. I said, my daughter can babysit if you need help. It wasn't anything more than that. As far as driving by her house, I did not drive by her house. I never worked at Nisqually Jail. I drive a Kia. I was on the night in question that she said I drove by. I had went out. I should have submitted pictures, but I have pictures of myself at the tap room in Yelm.
You had gone out. I'm just saying.
With Santa Claus. I was taking pictures with Santa Claus. I was drinking. I was not driving that night. I went home and I was obviously upset.
Wait. Did she just say she was going to be roommates with her husband, but nothing happened? Seriously, did she try to sell that in court? I don't know. There's a lot happening here.
So I had been drinking and I went to bed. I would have been in no condition to drive anywhere. I didn't even have Miss Archuleta's address until I got on the court website after her husband told me she filed this because I was never served. I got on there and I reviewed the document, and that is the only time I've had her address. I've never driven by her house. I posted the public picture that I got off of her Facebook on my second Facebook. Like I said, I took it down. I didn't post anything bad or threatening about the children.
Ma'am, are you a whore?
I apologize for my actions. I shouldn't have done that. I have been a victim of domestic violence and harassment, and I know the pain and fear it can cause. And I do apologize that to Ms. Archuleta that she thought her children or herself were in danger. I didn't mean it.
They're all victims. This is why you don't believe. You hear it every time. I know it actually happens, and there are real victims. But when you hear it every time, you just discount it for everybody. It's human nature. That's how it works. I'm sorry.
Can I say the words that she said, or
Sure. I need for you to tell me what went on.
that I'm not on that whole shit. I'm not with that whole shit.
Like that, I was obviously and still very upset discovering the affair. And I have no intention to contact her again. I have been in communication with her husband very, very briefly lately. And I do not ask personal questions about them. It is just strictly, we talked about the divorce and how it's been affecting us. That's all.
Let me see if I got
and bang, and that's it. That's all there is, Judge. We don't talk about her at all.
Some questions here. Let me re-review what I had here. So the information that you did send to the employer, looks like that was December 12th. Excuse me. How did you come upon that information? How did you know those dates?
My husband told me, and the
Oh, Judge, you are naughty. You want the dirt. You want the dirt. I like it. She plays innocent, but she wants the dirty details.
the days that were in question were days that he told me he was going to the gym. Other than that, my husband had been with me. He'd been at work. I had his location. I've known where he's at. But those 2 dates, and when he admitted to me, I believe he wrote that in his statement, the dates, and he told me what had happened. And
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I don't know, but that's my best guess.
that's where I got that information from.
Okay. Just looking through exhibits that you filed here to see if there's some other, excuse me, questions I have. And the picture of the kids, how did you come across that to put on your Facebook account?
It was on Miss Archuletta's public Facebook.
Okay.
And after that, she had communicated. We had texts back and forth. We had communication on Facebook back and forth. I don't believe we had communication on Instagram back and forth. So it wasn't me just reaching out. She was also reaching out to me, along with her family members, like I put in my statement, and they were continually calling me and harassing me. But yes, it was a public picture. And like I said, when I created that second Facebook, I deleted it within, I want to say 2 or 3 hours. I realized it wasn't going to change the past, and I was just, like I said, upset when I did it.
And that exchange, Ms. Archuleta asking that picture being taken down, that was with you, that exchange that was in her exhibits?
I believe she didn't ask me to take it down. I believe I had already blocked her, but her sister-in-law had called me. I did put in the phone records where her family members kept calling me over and over. And when they asked me to remove it, I removed it right away. And then like I said, I deleted the whole thing because I felt I was acting immature.
Okay, so I'm just trying to. All right. So, is Archuleta anything else to add on your petition that we haven't covered?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. So, Ms. Archuleta, Ms. Farley, I'm not finding under the law that I can issue an order against Ms. Farley. This is not a good situation, not pleasant. It's very ugly. There was back and forth, but mostly I can't find stalking as it's defined. The evidence, somebody drove around your house, and fairly, you can't really, and given the statement from Christopher Farley and what we've heard from Ms. Farley and the little that you were able to divine that night, can't pin that on Ms. Farley. The pictures of your kids, not the best way to use them. Glad they were taken down, but they're public domain once you throw them out there. Unfortunately, anybody can do anything with them. And you can't protect that. As to your employment, sounds like there's been that there was an investigation. You kind of made a decision. I'm done. And I'm just going to leave. I don't need to go through that embarrassment and that shame for somebody else's actions. But that in and of itself, given the factual underpinnings of it. So I don't find any unlawful harassment. There is things that feel harassing from both sides. Obviously, the two of you don't want much to do with each other, and you don't have to do anything with each other. And you're going to make decisions, Ms. Archuleta, in your divorce as to whatever other adults have contact with your children. But your husband's also going to be making that decision. And if Ms. Farley's involved, then that's not for this court to make a decision about. I can't. But the superior courts can.
The husbands, both of the marriages are screwed. Okay, so the husbands will be taking all the free sex they can get out of the deal. I mean, this isn't complicated, people.
So the order ends today. There is no further order going forward. And that I'll reduce that to writing. It'll be in the court file. And I think you send this by email or no?
No.
Okay. So it'll be available for you each in the case file. And if you have trouble with getting it, you can always contact my clerks. They can assist you. So, Ms. Farley, that's it. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize.
Good. Ms. Archuleta, anything else? That's it for today.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Well, good luck to you both.
Yeah.
So long.
Oh, good Lord. That was lots of fun. Thank you, Alyssa. That was better than I thought it was going to be. It really was. It really was. All right. Let a little of this take you out. Then I'll send you over to Biggin.
Two little lies in a cradle of glass. You painted halos on shadows, wrote lullabies for ghosts. But the elaborate scheme was conceived in your throat. You played your part like a movie queen, a silver screen line, a magazine dream. You said they were real, but their points spin. Whispers made flesh, your tonsil twins. Yeah, baby bump in a pillow with it. Play it, pretend till the truth walked in. The spotlight fades and the lights grow dim. Now who's gonna hold your tonsil twins? Your script was a mouthful, too hard to conceal. You spat out your lines, but choked on the reveal. The truth was a burden you couldn't swallow down, and the stain of your tail splashed on your gown. It's hard to keep your story straight when the paper trail shows no due date. You said they were real, but they're born in your spin. Echoes and rumors, your tonsil twins. You dance on the edge just to reel them in. Your whole defense started to spin. Now all that remains is a stain on your chin. Nobody's buying your tonsil twins. Detectives knocked on the door one more, woke you up where the lie was born. Your load of lies, now a sticky mess. Every word you spoke is a stain to address. You said they were real, but they're born in your spin. The verdict comes down, you'll never win. Thirsty for fame and TV shows, you got